What if I told you that a man who started with just $47 in his bank account and a couch to sleep on figured out how to build a $72 million empire by doing something most people think is boring? Not flashy tech, not crypto, not social media fame. Books, knowledge, and a marketing genius so controversial that half the internet calls him a scammer, while the other half copies everything he does. Tai Lopez cracked a code that turned ancient wisdom into modern wealth, and what he discovered along the way will completely change how you think about building an empire. Every time I hear about someone making millions from reading books and selling courses, my first thought is, show me the receipts. The internet is full of fake gurus flashing rented Lamborghinis and promising easy money. So when I started digging into Tai Lopez's $72 million empire, I expected to find another typical story of smoke and mirrors. What I found was way more complicated. Yes, there are controversies. Yes, there are failed ventures that cost investors millions. But there's also a methodical system for building wealth that goes deeper than most people realize. The question isn't whether Tai Lopez made his money. The numbers prove he did. The question is, how did he do it? What's real versus what's marketing? And what can we actually learn from his approach? The only way to know for sure is to follow the money trail and see what's actually left when you strip away all the hype. Tai didn't start out as the flashy entrepreneur we know today. He started as a broke college dropout, sleeping on his mother's couch in North Carolina with $47 to his name. Born in Long Beach, California in 1977, Tai's childhood wasn't easy. His father spent most of Tai's early years in prison, leaving his mother and grandmother to raise him in a rough neighborhood where gang activity made it hard to make friends. But there was one family member who changed everything, his grandfather. At 16, frustrated with life's complexity, Tai wrote a letter to his grandfather, a scientist, asking for the answers to life's biggest questions. Instead of giving him a magic formula, his grandfather sent back something that seemed disappointing at first. A dusty package of 11 old books with a simple note: start by reading these. That moment sparked what would become Tai's obsession with knowledge, but not in the way most people think. While his peers were partying, Tai embarked on what he calls a series of experiments to figure out the good life. He spent 2.5 years living with the Amish in Pennsylvania, getting up at 4 a.m. to work on farms without electricity. He worked at a leper colony in India. He helped pioneer sustainable agriculture on polyface farms. These weren't just adventures. They were strategic investments in uncommon experiences that would later become content gold. But here's what most people miss about this part of his story. Tai wasn't just collecting experiences. He was learning to do hard things when they were easy, building the mental toughness that would later allow him to handle massive public criticism and stay focused when others would crack under pressure. Here's where most people would have given up: being completely broke in your 20s, with nothing but weird experiences and a reading habit. Tai returned to North Carolina dead broke, sleeping on his mother's couch with those same $47 in his bank account. But instead of wallowing, he remembered his grandfather's advice about finding mentors. The difference? He didn't wait for mentors to find him. He went hunting. Tai grabbed a phone book and looked through the finance section until he found Mike Steinbach, who had a full-page ad for his insurance company. His reasoning was brilliant. If this guy could afford a full-page ad, he must know something about making money. When Tai showed up at Mike's office, he made an offer that was impossible to refuse. "If you show me what you know about money, I'll work for you for free." Mike's response was immediate. "I've been looking for someone like you for 20 years. This wasn't just luck, it was strategy. While others were asking for jobs, Tai was offering value in exchange for knowledge. This mentorship became the foundation for everything that followed. Mike taught him cold calling, sales techniques, and systematic thinking about business. But Tai combined this practical knowledge with something most people ignore. He was an early adopter of Google AdWords in the early 2000s. From 2010 to 2015, Tai built a fleet of dating websites. Sites like Elite Global Dating, Model Meet, and Meeting Millionaires. generated an estimated $2.5 million in revenue. While critics called these sites questionable, they served a specific market need and taught Tai invaluable lessons about online marketing, customer psychology, and scaling digital businesses. The "Here in My Garage" ad was just the gateway. The real product was Tai's 67 Steps program, which became one of the most successful online courses in history. With over 100,000 paid students and generating an estimated $30 million per year, this program reveals Tai's true genius. Why 67 steps? It wasn't random. It was based on scientific research from University College London, showing it takes an average of 66 days to form new habits. So he created a 67-day program that would systematically rewire people's thinking patterns. The brilliance wasn't just in the content, it was in the delivery system. Instead of overwhelming people with 300 principles at once, Tai condensed everything into digestible daily lessons that created sustainable behavior change. This wasn't just information. It was a transformation designed using psychological principles. Students like the founders of Movement Watches went through the program and built a company they later sold for $150 million. Other notable alumni include various online influencers who credit Tai's programs with their success. He also co-founded MentorBox with Alex Meir, a book subscription service that delivered curated business books alongside video summaries, which at its peak pulled in about $1.5 million each month. Beyond education, Tai has built a massive social media empire, amassing 11.9 million followers across platforms and commanding roughly $120,000 per sponsored post, with his content generating billions of minutes watched every year. On the investment side, Tai owns multiple properties and farms, putting into practice his own advice to buy land once your net worth hits the $1 to $10 million range. This real estate portfolio not only diversifies his income, but also aligns with his long-term wealth-building philosophy. But perhaps his boldest move was retail e-commerce ventures, REV. In 2019, Tai partnered with Alex May, former NASA scientist and Zeusk founder, to create Rev. Their strategy was contrarian, buying bankrupt retail brands with massive name recognition, but failed business models. REV acquired Pier 1 Imports for $31 million, outbidding private equity giants. They bought Radio Shack, Models Sporting Goods, Dress Barn, and other iconic American brands. The strategy was brilliant in theory. Instead of building brands from scratch, they were buying established brands with built-in customer trust. A customer might not trust a random new furniture website, but they'd trust Pier1.com because of nostalgia. While everyone was focused on the Lamborghinis and flashy lifestyle, Tai was building something much more systematic. His empire rests on three fundamental pillars that most entrepreneurs ignore. Mindset shift. Number one, leverage knowledge like capital. Tai discovered that information isn't just power, it's leverage. While others were trying to reinvent the wheel, he was studying what already worked. His entire business model is based on taking proven principles from history's most successful people and packaging them for modern audiences. The 67 Steps program isn't Tai's original wisdom. It's a systematic compilation of insights from thousands of books and mentors, organized into a behavior change system. Mindset shift number two, embrace controversy strategically. Most entrepreneurs try to please everyone. Tai realized that being polarizing ensures you're never ignored. People either love him or hate him, but they all know who he is. This isn't accidental. It's strategic positioning. By being controversial, he cuts through the noise in an attention economy, where being ignored is worse than being disliked. Mindset shift number three, build systems, not just businesses. The real secret to Tai's empire isn't any single business. It's his systematic approach to building and scaling. Whether it's the 67 Steps program, his content creation process, or his approach to acquiring companies, everything follows repeatable systems. This allows him to operate multiple businesses without being the bottleneck in any of them. But Rev, his boldest venture, tells a different story. Despite raising over $200 million from investors and acquiring iconic brands, Rev struggled financially. By 2023, the company owed $200 million in debt, with revenues dropping from $150 million in 2021 to just $60 million in 2022, while losses remained at $60 million. His course business works because it's scalable, digital, and built on proven demand. Yet even this failure contains lessons. Tai didn't hide from the controversy. He didn't make excuses. He moved on to his next ventures while his core businesses, education and content, continued generating millions. Today, Tai operates from multiple locations, including Puerto Rico and Sweden, focusing on AI, high-ticket consulting, and his evergreen course business. He stepped back from the spotlight while his systems continue generating revenue. The real lesson? Tai Lopez proved that in the digital age, knowledge, attention, and systematic thinking can build massive wealth faster than traditional business models. Whether you love him or hate him, his blueprint works. Find what already works, package it better, market it systematically, and scale through systems rather than personal effort. His $72 million empire stands as proof that with the right mindset, marketing skills, and willingness to be misunderstood, anyone can build something significant. The question isn't whether his methods work. His net worth answers that. The question is, are you willing to do what most people won't to get what most people can't? If this breakdown changed how you see building wealth through knowledge and systems, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into how real empires are built. Drop a comment below. What's the most boring, systematic approach to wealth building that you've been avoiding because it's not flashy enough? Because sometimes the most obvious path is the one everyone ignores, and I read every single comment. See you in the next one.